Now back to the new 113th Congress. While lawmakers did manage to pass that nearly $10 billion Sandy aid package, many doubt this will be a much more productive term than the last one. Joining us from our Washington bureau is Time Magazine's Deputy Washington Bureau Chief, Michael Crowley. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Michael, you might have heard Nancy Pelosi a little earlier say that this refreshes Congress. Do you think Congress has been refreshed by this new crop?
You know, Congress is rarely refreshed. I mean, it's one of the big problems with Congress that you really don't get that much turnover. A lot of the same, the overwhelming majority of these familiar names and faces who have been in these nasty partisan fights we've been seeing for the last several years are back. They have the same agendas. They're not in any greater mood to compromise. If anything, people are feeling even more bitter in the wake of a heated election campaign and a fiscal cliff fight that at times got quite nasty. So I don't see it as being a particularly fresh bunch, no.
So this idea that she put out there, let's sweep away the last 2 years and move forward, doesn't sound very likely.
No, unfortunately, I don't think so. You know, it's like in a relationship. If you've been fighting for years and you say, let's just start over, you know, you can't forget all the bad water that's gone under the bridge. And I would point out in particular that, you know, we have midterm congressional elections coming up in 2014. And actually, those are elections where you have the activists come out, the bases in both parties come out. It's more, midterm elections are more about the party bases than a presidential election, which generate a lot of excitement and bring people into the system who don't often vote. So both parties are going to be worried more about their liberal base on the left and their conservative base on the right. In other words, it cleaves them farther apart.
Yeah, so if anything, it could get worse. And we've got some pretty significant battles that are coming up right away, like the debt ceiling, for example. What else?
Well, guns, it looks like the White House is prepared to challenge Republicans, the National Rifle Association, on gun control in the wake of the terrible Newtown shooting and also the Aurora shooting. Republicans, I think, are dug in and not interested in compromising on that. Immigration reform, the president says it will be one of his high priorities. Republicans are still figuring out where they are on that. There's talk about compromise. I don't think it's that realistic. And then, of course, you know, we just went through all this chaos and consternation with the fiscal cliff. If people are out there are breathing a sigh of relief that that's behind us, don't. It's not behind us. They've basically just punted it now. Now we have a fight over the debt ceiling, which the country will hit in about a month when the government runs out of borrowing authority, and all the same issues are on the table. How much revenue do we need to bring in? Should we cut spending? And the fate of the economy, again, is sort of on the brink as we come to the deadline to increase the debt ceiling, and both sides are saying, I'm not going to budge, and they're playing a game of chicken with it. And so I think that, in the short term, is really the fundamental issue we'll be hearing about day after day.
All right, Michael Crowley, thanks very much, Michael.